and let's begin. Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators of the Spokane Sangha. I'd like to set the intention of our practice today with a sentiment of loving kindness. This one reads, "May you gaze at the stars. May you gaze at the stars." Friends, for the month of August in the Spokane Sangha, we are exploring the theme of cultivating patience. And we are paying particular attention and drawing our wise concentration to an aspect of patience that stirs up its sister, which is impatience. And that aspect are the conditions of uncertainty, the conditions of not knowing. Anytime we feel insecure, anytime we feel like we don't know what's coming, anytime we feel upended, we can experience emotions of impatience. And so how do we bring in its sister, patience, to help us stay grounded and settled? And the honest answer is we practice. And sometimes our practice is spot on and we nail it. And other times our practice is messy and perhaps maybe even dysregulated. But the whole point is that we continue to practice. Today, for our meditation and for our practice, I'd like to share with you some readings from two sources, two books that mean a lot to me personally. The first one is a book called The Book of Qualities by J. Ruth Gendler, Gendler, The Book of Qualities. And what Ruth Gendler's done in this book is she's taken different qualities that we all possess, patience, joy, perseverance, and so forth, and she's personified them. She's anthropomorphized these qualities. She's given them personalities. And I love the imagery, and so I'd like to share with you today what she has to say about patience. To begin, and to make ourselves ready for this practice, I just invite you to settle into the body. I'd like you to find a posture in the body that has some ease, but also has a degree of alertness. To keep the body alert, you might want to keep your eyes open a little bit. You might want to sit in a chair or on a cushion, nice and tall. Straight back, strong back. Soft, open front. Roll the shoulders back a little bit. Maybe to get into that posture, you can roll your shoulders forward, kind of hunch your back a little bit. Bring your shoulders up to your ears, and then slowly roll them back and feel the front part of your body, the muscles along the collarbone opening. This opens the heart, brings the shoulders down, kind of brings the attention into that strong back. Soften the belly. Breathe. One of the things about patience is we have a lot more of it than we realize most of the time. Most of us, because we have a propensity to highlight, elevate, even inflate the negativity in our lives, we become really sensitive to those actions and thoughts and feelings that are impatient, and we forget to take stock of all the times that we're incredibly patient, calm, open. Oh, sorry. Quite all right, Lo. No worries. Patience. Take a moment to check in with your mind. What does that word mean to you? What does this quality mean to you? What does its sister quality, impatience, stir up in thought and story? Where do patience and impatience live in your body? Take notice. Patience by Ruth Gendler. Patience wears my grandmother's filigree earrings. She bakes marvelous bread. She has beautiful hands. She carries great sacks of peace and purses filled with small treasures. You don't notice patience right away in a crowd, but suddenly you see her all at once, and then she is so beautiful, you wonder why you never saw her before. Don't forget that the patience that lives within you is so beautiful, has many small treasures to offer, and can carry heavy loads. Your patience brings nourishment in basic forms like bread. Don't ignore the way patience appears in your life in small ways and in big ways. We need a lot of patience and opportunities to practice on the journey of recovery, especially when we find ourselves at the threshold of discovering something new, or maybe stepping into an aspect or an arena of our lives that we've neglected or rejected. Sometimes our inner landscapes are fearful, haunted places. So not only does it take courage to shine a light in there, it takes patience, slow, steady efforts, particularly when we're having to engage those arisings that are constantly urging us forward. Keep going, you got this, maybe in a pushy sort of way. Perhaps patience can encourage us to ask, what's the rush? Why am I in such a hurry? Maybe taking my time, slowing things down, is the wiser option. Many of us have spent lifetimes here, certainly years and years, it seems like, being very harsh with ourselves, growling a sense of urgency. Get over yourself, move on. Why can't you do this right? And so forth. And the fascinating thing is how ineffective that approach has been. But because we've engaged it so often, so repetitively, it feels familiar, and that familiarity gives the psyche a sense that it ought to work. So it requires some gentle patience to remind ourselves this type of efforting is ineffective, and we are going to try something different, something gentle, something slower, something more open and curious, something that has a tone that is kinder, more compassionate and encouraging. What have we got to lose by engaging that instead? Today, I'd like to read to you a blessing by John O'Donohue. And this blessing is titled For Failure. For failure. When I was first practicing a long time ago, I remember working with this particular idea, working with unskillfulness, working with limits and capacity, working with mistakes and missed steps and failure. And I was being taught at that time to engage these negative aspects, these shadow aspects of my growth as friends, failure as a friend. And it's really difficult. It's actually a very challenging practice because failure doesn't feel like a friend. It certainly doesn't feel like a friend I want to have around very often. And that's part of working with it, is recognizing it for what it is. Failure doesn't feel good. Failure is like trying to hug a cactus. That's the kind of friend that it is. So we have to remember to assign it its reality. I can't expect failure as a friend to give me the same feeling as engaging a soft, encouraging, friendly dog. That's not how failure works. That's not the nature of failure. That's not its kind of friendship. So the moment I started to look at failure for what it is, objectively, neutrally, I could begin to see its merit for my maturity, growth, and development. I stopped treating failure like a bat that I would take and beat myself up with. I also stopped treating failure like an excuse I could pull out of my pocket and I could use as a card of self-sabotage, worthlessness. Reasons to stay in habit energy. Failure is a friend, a wisdom teacher, and an opportunity to soften the edges, of how we grow, how we mature, how we recover. This is a blessing for our failures by John O'Donohue. The will of color loves how light spreads. Through its diffusions, making textures subtle, clothing a landscape in concealment. For color to keep its mysteries hidden from the unready eye. But the light that comes after rain is always fierce and clear, and illuminates the face of everything through the transparency of rain. Despite the initial darkening, this is the light that failure casts. Beholden no more to the promise of what dream and work would bring, it shows where roots have withered and where the source has gone dry. The light of failure has no mercy on the affections of the heart. It emerges from beyond the personal, a wiry, forthright light that likes to see crevices open in the shell of a controlled life. Though cruel now, it serves a deeper kindness, wise to the larger call of growth. Friends, may you offer patience toward your failings, your missteps. May your patience guide you toward your inner wisdom and your own greater call to knowing and growth. May you have trust in this unfolding. May your patience be your guiding light. May your next steps be gentle, and may you ground everything in the miracle of breath. You, Luma. I'd like to end our practice today with a dedication of merit, and this is another blessing by John O'Donohue. It's one of my favorites, and it's called To Come Home to Yourself. So come home. Come home to yourself right now in your body. This extraordinary expression of cosmic evolution. You are the byproduct of dying stars, billions of years old, all coming together to create you, the only you that has ever been, the only you that will ever be in this body right now. Come home to it and breathe for a moment, knowing that there are millions and millions and millions of people suffering, totally unaware of the Spokane Sangha, totally unaware of a Buddhist-inspired practice, totally unaware of the miracle of mindfulness. May your efforts here today radiate out into the world and touch these people in billions of different ways. Come home to yourself. May all that is unforgiven in you be released. May your fears yield their deepest tranquilities. May all that is unlived in you blossom into a future graced with love. From my heart-filled, heart-led life, I wish you an afternoon of joy and peace and beauty. Thank you for your beautiful practice today. We'll see you next time. Namaste.